Floss Tube! Thanks for stopping by my channel. My name is Shiloh and I am a cross stitcher, knitter, and crocheter living in Nova Scotia, Canada. This is a little bit different of a video. This is a Floss Tube extra and this is a previous finish parade. So I want to show you a whole bunch of projects that I have finished years and years ago that I discovered, totally forgot I had. When I moved to Nova Scotia 5 years ago, I left a ton of stuff at my parents' house because we drove from Windsor, Ontario to Halifax, Nova Scotia, which was like a 20-something hour drive over a couple of days in my tiny little Honda Fit. So I only brought what I could fit in that car. So I left a lot of stuff at my parents' house. And when I was at my parents' house this past week, spending some time with them, I was in the garage. My brother was showing me his golf clubs or something dumb like that. And I noticed a tub in the garage that said Shiloh's cross stitch finishes. And I was like, oh, what's in that? So I opened it up. There were so many finishes in there. This is maybe only a quarter of what was in there. Okay. Like, to give you context, I was that nerdy kid growing up who loved reading, loved being inside, was super unathletic. And in my teenage years, this migrated into me then just stitching all the time, being inside reading, listening to audiobooks. Had zero social life. Thankfully, I have become slightly more well-rounded over time. However, still my absolute favorite thing to do is just stay inside, speak to no one, and stitch. So that being said, I have a ton of old finishes that I need to get framed. So back in the day, I had all the time, but I had none of the money. So none of this could get framed because it's so expensive. Now that I have a real big girl job, I can hopefully get some of this stuff framed. So very excited to get some of this stuff on my wall. I still have a whole bunch left at my mom's place, so I'll rescue the rest of that eventually. But let's show you some of these old finishes because it's so fun looking at them, going down memory lane, remembering, you know, what was going on in my life when I stitched on them. A lot of these I have put dates on, which is so cool. And I've really stopped doing that over the past couple of years. Although because I record most of my stuff on Instagram, I do know roughly when I have done things, but I'm really glad that I dated a lot of these pieces because otherwise I'd have no idea of when I finished them. Let's get started. This first piece is actually framed. It's framed very poorly, but it's framed. This is The Bookshelf by Little House Needleworks, and I stitched this in 2007. I was a whopping 17 years old then. Super cool 17-year-old. I stitched this over 1 on 28 count. I believe I used all the called for DMC, except I did use a metallic floss for the book spines, which I really love how that turned out. So cute. So I'm really excited about this. This is a great find. I'm going to put this right on my bookshelf. And it's not framed that well, but it's straight. It's fine. No one has to look at the back. And it's so cute. I love this. So that is a gem of a treasure of a find. Also, wow, I stitched all of that over 1. I'm impressed with myself. This next one, I guess I just had this like over 1 phase in 2007 because this next one is over 1 as well. Please ignore how wonky the fabric is. My way of framing then was I literally just like cut corners and folded things and it just is a mess. So I pulled this out of the frame because it would look terrible and I'll get this properly framed. So this is a Brightneedle design. I don't know the name of this chart. I'll look it up and put it on the screen here because I know it's Brightneedle. All of Brightneedle charts are out of print now, which is very, very sad. But I think I used all the called for anchor floss, again, stitched over 1. This looks to me like a 32 count. It could be a 28 though. And it's so cute. I love it. So there's 2007, so long ago. So pretty. I love this bird here. I love the wonky alphabet, the borders. It's so pretty. Love it. There's quite a few Brightneedle pieces I have finished here because I was kind of obsessed with them. Still am. I wish does anyone know what happened with them? I know they released some patterns at Nashville Market this year or last year, but they haven't really done anything since and the patterns aren't widely available. So if you know, let me know. This next one is the Dutch Hornbook, also by Brightneedle, also out of print. Ah, look how pretty it is. I love this so much. This one is dated 2009. I stitched my initials over one here, 2009. And again, Brightneedle uses a lot of anchor floss, so I'm pretty sure this is all the called for anchor floss. There may be one or two over dyed in here, but I think this is all anchor. This looks like a 32 count, 2 strands. I absolutely adore this so much. This is getting framed ASAP. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So pretty. You may be able to find Brightneedle charts on eBay or Etsy. Also check with some if you have a local needlework shop, I would also check with them because they might still have some of them. They've been out of print for a while, but some shops might still have them in like deep storage because their charts are gorgeous. Okay, this next one I talked about in my last regular floss tube video about AKGIT by Modern Folk Embroidery. Here's another tiny Verlanda sampler. This is called Birdie by Stitchy Box. So I did this one in 2017. I believed I used some type of silk for this, some kind of black silk. I'm not sure exactly what silk I used. And this looks like a 36 count to me, and I believe I used 1 strand. And it's so pretty. I love this. It's so cute. You have like the whole Verlanda motifs with the crowns and the medallions, but it's a lot smaller and it's super, super cute. This chart is still available on Stitchy Box website. I believe they also offer PDFs, so that's fun. Super cute. Okay, this next one is amazing. So this is the Drawn Thread Random Thoughts. Are you ready for this? Oh my goodness. You should have seen me when I was pulling all these things out of the storage bin. I was like, just like screaming, and my brother was like, you made those. Like, don't you remember you made those? I was like, no, it was so long ago. So this one is from 2010. This center versus over 1. I used, I think, the called for. So I want to say that this came with a thread pack, maybe. Either that or I used the DMC. I can't remember. Look at the button there. Lots and lots of specialty stitches in this one. This is over 1 as well. Some charms. I really love this here with the charm that has the thread wrapped around it, the girl stitching. This is so pretty. I love it so much. And I actually remember the fabric. This is a 32 count summer khaki linen by Swaggart. This needs to get framed ASAP. This needs to be on my wall. I love it so, so much. So pretty. So that is Random Thoughts. And let me just hold it up a little bit closer so you can see some of these details. Oh, look at that. I love it. I love it. Oh, that cat stitched over 1 too. This was done so long ago that I don't even feel bad being impressed with myself because look at me go. So pretty. Love that. So that's Random Thoughts by the Drawn Thread. Okay, this next one is another Brightneedle. I know you all are going to want to stitch this, and it's also out of print. I'm so sorry. I really hope that they reprint their charts. This one is the Needlework shop. Oh, it's so good. This is all anchor thread, 32 count white linen, 2/2. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is my favorite part. Look at all those skeins of floss there. So this was all satin stitches. So I think it was like 2 satin stitches beside each other and then like a little bit of back stitch to tie it together. And it's all the colors used in this chart. I just noticed something. I never finished this line of stitches. They're all half stitches. All right, so I can finish that line of stitches and then I have a finish. So this one I did, that's so funny. So I did date it 2011, but I didn't finish this line of threads. You know what? I might just leave it because that's kind of a funny story to have that this is not finished. Look how cute this is. I love it. I love the little squirrel here, the little picture on the wall, the linens. Oh, it's so good. I just love this so, so much. And yeah, I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave that unstitched. That's kind of a little fun little gem there. Look at that. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. So yeah, this needs to get framed ASAP. I'm sorry guys, I'm just like, you know, overwhelmed by all these pieces I stitched, and like, it's really exciting. And I'm also like, this is gonna cost so much money to frame them all. Okay, this next one is Toccata number 3, or it might be Toccata number 2. Can't remember, one of those. One of the Toccata pieces by the Drawn Thread. Look at this, all kinds of specialty stitches in here. I did this 2012. The original, I think, was in blues and reds, but I converted it to purples. I believe this is all DMC floss, and I love it. I love it. Look at all those rice stitches. Yeah, those are, sorry, queen stitches. I remember that taking me forever. And these satin stitches, like, look at the borders on this. Oh, it's so good. It's so, so pretty. I really like this motif right here. So pretty. This, like, oh, and these stitches here, it's amazing. It's amazing. Go 22-year-old me. So pretty. This looks like it's on a 32 count, just like a cream linen. I mostly use just like plain Zweigart. Well, I know it's Zweigart because of the orange band, but I mostly use Zweigart linen because that was what was readily accessible. Okay, this next one I think is Toccata number 1 by the Drawn Thread. And I actually, I'll put a picture in here of what the chart looks like, because I did cut off the bottom of it because I miscalculated how big my fabric was. So I had to cut off part of it, but I'm really happy with how mine turned out anyway. So that's Toccata number either 1 or 2 by the Drawn Thread. And this one was finished in 2009. Look at that. All the gold threads in this are just incredible. So like, look at this. It's so sparkly and beautiful. There's beads in it. Oh my goodness, I love it. This piece right here with the white work and then the charm in the middle, so pretty. This butterfly. Love this, love this, love this. I don't know if this is still in print or not. I believe you can still get it from the Drawn Threads website directly. Look at those stitches there. So cool with the, is that a bead in the middle? No, it's metallic thread in there. Love it. So pretty. Needs framing ASAP. Should I just say that after every single piece I show? Okay, this next one is also by the Drawn Thread, and this one is called, I believe it's called the Dandelion Sampler. Also, do you appreciate my project bag backdrop here? So this one has a lot of over 1. I really like the verse on this. So it says, with locks of gold today, tomorrow silver gray, then blossom bald behold, man thy fortune told. The dandelion. And I worked this in September 2010. The border on this is really pretty. It's like some kind of fancy stitch. I don't know what it is. The cute little over 1 birds. The words are all over 1. Dandelions, so pretty. Yeah. Love it. Love it, love it. So yeah, I've been stitching a long time, guys. I've been stitching a long time. Because before this, I was stitching on Ada. Oh, that reminds me. Okay, so at my mom's house, my mom and dad's house, I don't know why I'm just saying my mom, my dad lives there too. I found the very first piece I ever stitched, and I forgot to pack it. So it's still at my parents' house, but I did take a picture of it. So here it is, my first ever cross stitch piece. It's adorable. So I remember my mom had cross stitched a few pieces for my grandmother. She did like a baby piece, like when I was born, that she gave to my grandmother, and another piece too. And I remember seeing them at my grandma's house and being like, "Ooh, I want to try that." So one day I was bored at home and I told my mom, I really want to learn to cross stitch. So what my mom did is she gave me a piece of Ada. She masking taped the edges, And then she wrote my name in block letters, or maybe I wrote my name. I can't remember. One of us wrote my name. I was 8. I definitely could write then. Either she or I wrote my name in block letters on a piece of Ada with a pen. And then she gave me a bunch of different threads, showed me how to like start a thread, end a thread, and just told me just make X's over top of the words, which actually is a really great way of teaching it. So I did that, and then I wanted to experiment and draw a happy face. So you could see in the bottom left corner, I drew a circle, and then I was like, that circle's way too small. So I drew another circle, which ended up being more like a square, and I made a happy face at the bottom. So that was my first piece. I then made very similar pieces for my grandmother and my nonna, my Italian grandmother. So I wrote grandma on one and nonna on the other, and I like cross-stitched over the pen words, and then my mom framed them and gave them to them. And then I graduated to using actual patterns. And then I was obsessed, and I literally haven't stopped stitching yet since. So I want to say like since like I probably made those when I was 8, and then I just kind of dabbled a little bit. And I feel like starting at the age of 10, I was like stitching like basically every day. So obsessed. But it was so cool seeing that old piece, and just brought back like so many good feelings and memories of learning to stitch, and like all the time I've spent stitching and just enjoying it, and all the pieces I've made. It just like brought back all the good feelings. And I hope that one day I will have a son or daughter, or maybe multiple, who will want to stitch, and I can teach them just like my mom taught me. So feel good story. I do want to frame that picture of my name because it's just like really cute and a good memory. So, okay, let's go back to slightly more advanced projects than that. Okay, this is another Brightneedle design. This is the Quiet Night Sampler from 2009. And I'm pretty sure this is on a piece of Vicki Clayton linen back when she was doing linens. And I think this is all the called for anchor floss. So Quiet Night Sampler, so pretty. There's lots of things peeling off it here. Really fun stitch. I love Brightneedle charts. Please start designing again. I love your stuff. This next one here, so pretty. So this is called Gathering Daisies, and it's a kit by Janlynn, but I just used the pattern and I changed out the fabric. So I think this is a 32 count Jobelin. It's like a pale green, and I used all the DMC flosses, or maybe I used the kit flosses, I can't remember. But how cute is that? This little girl picking daisies. So sweet. It was really fun to stitch. And it's just so, so cute with the flowers. Adorable. So that's Gathering Daisies. Pretty sure it's called that. All right, on the flower theme, we have this one, which is called Be Thankful. And this was in an old Cross Stitch and Country Crafts magazine. I'm not sure which one, so apologies for that. I think this is on a 28 count linen. The centers of the sunflowers are over 1, and this was from 2009, Be Thankful. The magazine was from the 90s, but I stitched it in 2009. This is all DMC floss. I really love it. It's the one thing that has been so cool about looking at through these old finishes is that like so many of these pieces I still love, even though these are like, 15 years old. So that's very gratifying that I still have similar taste. So pretty. I really, really love this one. Next, we have another Brightneedle chart. This one is called the Sampler. It's a little 9 patch, 2012. So sweet. Oh, May 2012. That's cool. This would be all the called for anchor floss. Love it. So pretty. Okay, this next one, I think the designer of this is the dyer behind Victorian Motto Floss. I think her name is Nancy. And I know I got this as a PDF from her website, and it's called Love One Another. It's like a Quaker-esque piece. And I believe this is DMC, so I want to say it's like 3809, whatever that tealy turquoisey color is. But it's so pretty. And I want to say this is like a 28 or 32 count linen, 2/2. So pretty. Love it. Okay. I have saved the best for last because you're not even going to believe me when I show this to you. Let me preface this by saying I loved this chart when I first saw it. It is huge. So I thought in order to get it a more manageable size, I'm going to stitch it on 40 count. This has a significant amount of over 1 on it. And I just did it. I just was like, sure, I'll just do that. That's fine. I didn't know that that was something to be scared of. Also, I stitched with 2 strands on 40 count. This is like thick. How I did this, I have no idea, but I did it. I did this in, I think it's 2015. Let me check my date here. I'm just trying to build up the tension here. I need a drum roll. 2015. Are you ready to see this? I don't know if you're ready because this is like literally the coolest thing I've ever done. And I love it so much. And I can't wait to get this framed. So this is Flower Power by Crosswing Collection. Okay, this is massive. Let me show you it in a bit more detail because it's so good. So it's so pretty. I don't know if this is going to show up well. Let me put my thing behind it because the fabric's white. So here's one of the sections. Look at the hummingbirds and the flowers. I remember this being so much fun to stitch. I believe all the butterflies are over 1. So that's over 1 on 40 count, okay? Like, how did I do that? I don't even know. I was 25 when I did this. I don't even know. Look at this. And all the bugs, the butterflies and the little bee are all over 1. Show the other side here. This is getting framed stat. Stat, stat, stat. Look at that monarch. And I love how I did my initials there. I did it in like this cursive, which is really fun. The flowers, look at that hummingbird. This is all DMC 40 count linen, 2 over 2. Would not recommend 2 over 2. I love how it looks, but it's thick. And then look at this little butterfly here. It's so pretty, guys. Like when I saw this, I almost cried because I had forgotten that I stitched this. How I forgot I stitched this massive piece, I don't know, but I did. And now that I have it, I'm going to get this framed and lots of mats on it to make it look even more amazing. And I'm so excited to have this on my wall after, 8 years, 2015. So that is Flower Power. A fitting end to my finished parade. So thank you so much for watching and seeing all of my previous finishes. These are not going to all get framed at the same time because I would have no money left, but slowly over time, they will get framed. This one is definitely first up to get framed. And once I have them framed, I will definitely show them to you again. So thanks again for the trip down memory lane with some of my old finishes. I'd love to hear below if you've stitched any of these pieces yourself. Also, if you have any spare Brightneedle charts laying around, also comment below because if I don't buy them from you, someone will. All right, thanks so much for watching, everyone. Take care, happy stitching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.